Hello and welcome back to the Below Average Reviewers podcast. I am your host, Vanilla Thick, and I have my co-hosts with me today, Dakota, Momi, and Zink. So how are you guys doing today?
Dakota's a bitch.
Part 3. I feel like that's gonna be like a normal thing. Like
Just keep adding on.
every episode's gonna be a part something of Dakota's a bitch.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so today we're going to be talking and reviewing, and I guess going over the No Game No Life movie, the No Game No Life Zero. So, how have you guys seen No Game No Life before, or ever heard of it?
I have not seen No Game No Life. I've heard of it, and then watching the movie, I'm kind of like, I felt like there was like terminology within the movie that I needed to watch the actual anime to understand what was going on in the movie.
Yeah,
I
okay.
have.
I
I watched
thought
it
it was
when it
supposed-
aired.
I thought it was supposed to be like a prequel, right?
That's what I
It
thought.
is. Okay. So it yes and no it is, but it's the way it's presented as a movie is it's being told present day remembering the story. If that makes sense.
It's like
I
your grandpa
guess.
telling you a story about World War II.
They used to make us walk 15 miles in the snow to school.
Damn
Back
Germans.
One of those stories.
Yeah.
Like one of those stories.
We used to call them whippersnappers.
There used to be orange groves as far as the eye could see.
All there was
But,
corn,
all right,
corn,
so-
and more corn. And
So
now there's
just doing,
porn, and more porn.
I mean, there is
so
corn
with
hub.
this,
There's corn of corn. There's
with
interracial corn, adult
oh
corn.
my goodness, we're
Mature corn.
There's mature corn.
y'all, we're in the Midwest, okay? We know what corn is.
We know what good corn looks like and tastes like.
Exactly.
It's got to be real mature.
Real girthy.
Gay corn.
Oh man.
Okay.
Get off
Anyway,
the subject.
so back to topic.
That's
Back to
topic.
topic. So doing a brief dive into it because I've never watched the anime. I've only just watched the movie that we're going over, and it says it's a comedy. And watching that movie was definitely not a comedy, like
It
whatsoever.
was pretty
It might be
funny when
because
they died. It's pretty pog
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of chuckled when Ivan died. Kind of chuckled.
What a cringe death.
Yo, I need you to die for me now. Okay.
I make sure my kid's okay.
Bye, bitch.
But yeah, so like, can somebody please explain to me what's going on, like why this was even happening, and all that? And
So
then like
this
the
is
ending
how
makes no
everything
sense.
came to be in that realm, basically. That's what the movie's about.
So I would say watching the show does clear up some points. Like they go over the 6 rules. Like you can't kill anyone. No one, like, you can't, I forget the rules, but like no one can kill each other. Like no one can die.
How the fuck are they getting around those rules then? Because people are fucking dying by
That
other
was
people.
before when the main
No,
character
no,
died.
that was
his wish.
yeah.
That's what he said to
Okay.
the god. He wanted his like reality to come true. These 6 rules he created. That's how they became a thing in this reality.
Mhm.
I do want to. I got a lot because I know the code and Sync haven't seen No Game No Life, so I don't want to like really spoil much of the show for them. But I did get a
Spoil away because
Yeah.
if it's gonna be like how this movie was, I don't know if I'm gonna actually enjoy
No,
it.
the anime is a lot better. It's
No,
not-
the anime is phenomenal. The movie was also phenomenal, but that's just me. One thing I thought was really, really interesting was the usage of Riku and Sora having the same voice actor, also Shui and Shiro. And one girl, I can't remember her. I don't know how to actually pronounce her name. And Stephanie, they actually used the same voice actors, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I also got a lot of like vibes between Shoro and Shiro and the two main characters of this.
100%, I agree to that. Like
The hair was
when
like
I
the
was
same
watching
almost.
it,
Their
it was just
personalities are
like,
the same.
yeah,
I do
yeah.
think
I
this
felt
is a
like it was
Miyamomi
great.
episode. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
praising
I'm just gonna be listening and asking.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that my queen, Jibril, showed up. That's all I care about. My queen, she was there. She was a little prick, but she was great. It looked gorgeous doing it.
So in episode 6 of the anime, they do talk about this war, which I think is interesting. Which tells me this is probably planned out. Well, clearly the manga's ahead of the show, but
Now, does this war have a name, or was it just known as the Great War throughout the anime?
It's actually known as the Great War.
Okay.
But like, what happened? Like, does this world exist anymore? Is it dead? And we went to
so that was the whole thing. Is that he passes it on a praise to the god of games, which he used to play with as a child, and basically he takes the cineaster, or however you say it. He takes it and remakes the world, making it where everything is all about games rather than using like violence or war and stuff like that.
Hey Momi, your mic's kind of cutting out a little bit. I don't know if it's on your guys' end too, but
yeah, I could hear it
a little bit.
Hello, am I good?
Yeah, you sound good. Yeah.
Yep, you're good now.
You look good too.
Do I need to reset? Do you want me to reset? Oh.
No. Dakota or Zeke, do you guys have any more questions about the show?
Yeah, so like when it comes to games, so like does that mean like the anime is all about just like playing games and stuff?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So I knew it was about playing games. I just didn't know if there were like different sets of games that they played. I know the game that they really played in the movie was chess.
Yeah, it's all a large portion of it is formed around chess, which I think is kind of interesting because like another anime has used a similar thing, High School DxD, where they use the places in the house. In each of the houses, they call them their evil pieces. They actually use like, for example, the one who's the leader is the king, and then they have a queen and other pieces, so on and so forth. Just like if they were playing a game of chess, which I thought was really interesting.
How this world works is you can challenge the god of games, but you need to have all the chess pieces. And as you say, like towards like the very end, like the final war starts, like you see all these different countries have a chess piece on top of them. And then when the world like gets reborn again at the very end, when Riku's wish comes true, you see those like big like queen, the big rook, the big knight statues in the backgrounds. Those are different kingdoms of the different people, like the wild beasts, the angels.
Oh, okay.
And if you and each one has their own piece, making them all equals. And if you want to challenge the gods, you have to collect all the pieces by beating them all in a game.
Okay, all right.
It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the reason why the Shoro and Shiro in the main show get isekai to this world is because they beat the game god of chess.
And Tet is Tet the god of chess?
Yes, Tet is like the god of the world.
Okay.
And they beat him?
The two main characters at the very end, Shoro and Shiro.
Okay.
They beat them and he transfers them to their world so he can play with them more.
So Shiro is the computer chick, right?
No, this is from the actual show.
No, this is from the actual show. You see him at the very end. She's the really short one when they go and like hug onto the one girl. It's Sora and Shiro. Shiro's the girl.
From the beginning, the ex Mechanica girl.
That's Shui. That's Shui.
Okay.
I like Shui's character a lot.
Shui is super adorable.
Especially
I love her.
With all the ecchi humor they had in it.
What humor? This whole movie was depressing.
No, the ecchi humor at the beginning.
Yeah, when he first meets her.
Yeah.
She was wanting to fuck him.
Basically.
Like, straight up.
She's like, "Hey, I consent."
And then when he takes her back, and she's just like, and how do you say her name? Is it I don't know how you say it.
Are you talking about his
Mhm.
sister?
Yeah, it's like
Are you talking about when she like barges in on him? She's on top of him and everything.
Well, there's that, but I was talking about when he first brings her back, and she's talking about like, oh, he's so cute and all this, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, Kearney or however you say her name. Yeah, her. And then Shui's response to like, oh, why are you here? She's like, well, he told me that he wanted me to be his partner or whatever she cites there for procreation.
Right.
And then when she walks in on him and says, "I'll give you a bath," and she says, "Only Riku can see my body."
Yeah.
Oh, and you have her trained? What?
That's Japan for you.
It's so good.
So going back to the anime, because episode 6, that's when they fight against the angel. And at the very end, it talks about how they literally cannot kill anyone anymore, so they seek knowledge because of the rules that are in place. The girl at the very end that looks like Koroni, is that her name? They pronounce it?
I guess so, yeah.
That's how I'm pronounced Koroni. Koroni's daughter from their actual show, Stephanie, has the little like marriage charm.
I don't think it's her daughter.
No.
This is.
It's like the past king. It's like passed down through their generations.
Yes, I don't think I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I don't. Stephanie's not her daughter. It's she's a descendant.
Yeah, and at the very end, she reads off the names on the back, which are these names from the show, which is cool. I did think this was like a Call of Duty simulator when they first joined it, because the show it's all about games, and there is one tribe that has like a Galgun simulator where you go inside of a game system and play. So I thought it was like a war game, you know, from like one of the other regions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of watching this, right, and trying to understand it. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I was completely clueless. Like, it was like, okay, well, that makes sense. You know, this robot's trying to learn about the heart, whatnot. Okay, cool. Does the heart thing play in anything else?
I think it's just this common machines trope, like robots and shows. They want to like learn emotion and love and stuff. I think that's all it is. Or else her character would have been boring.
Yeah.
There ain't that many themes in this show, which is okay, I guess, because it's a prequel. It's not a standalone thing. But besides love, I don't know where themes are in here.
Love was part of this thing? I didn't catch on to that at all.
I mean, the whole relationship with Shui and Riku was like a big portion. Yeah.
I am a little interested though because we don't see none of this magic. Never mind, that makes sense. We don't see the magic stuff because it's banned now. After this war was over, everything's just settled through games.
Yep.
I know we all watched A Silent Voice. How would you guys compare this to the last film we watched?
I think they're both great. I love them both. A Silent Voice is by far one of the greatest anime movies of all time.
I like The Silent Voice better. Not knocking this at all, because I thought this was really, really good as well. It's just I could understand more what was going on in A Silent Voice than I could this movie.
But that's also because this is the rigged reason. I think between that is because Silent Voice is just a Silent Voice. This is literally has a series on top of the movie.
No, I mean, first off, they're both kind of depressing.
I think that's just Japanese media for you. I'll be real with you.
If it's with Japanese, if someone's not trying to commit suicide, it's not going to sell.
Seppuku.
No seppuku.
Oh my god.
One of the big things was like how like that kind of like surprised me is the ash storms and stuff. Like they used that to like I guess I don't really know. I guess like he was like breathing it in. I guess like when they're in like areas that's covered in it, they're breathing it in and stuff. But when he was with, I think her name was the elf girl, when he's playing the game with her, and Yeah, I think, yeah. And he comes back, he literally loses his arm, his eye,
Like,
and has to get his other arm that's like almost deteriorated, bandage up and everything. Like he gets mangled the fuck up. Like it was crazy to see how like detrimental that can be to them. Like of course you can I know like you could tell like internally and stuff, but like physically, like that was really surprising.
That it was honestly like all of a sudden you just go to this next scene. It's like, okay, well he went through a bunch of crap.
yeah, I don't like how it like cuts so far into the future without telling you, because there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time passes through a lot of these scenes. Because we have him like dying. The next scene, he already lost half his body, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I don't know. It was just it was a weird jump. Like I know that he went through a lot of pain, but he had healed from it previous times. So
Well, that was the whole thing. Is why Shui was like yelling at him and stuff was because they can only like really get through only so much of it, and he was there for double the amount of time he was supposed to be in there with the elf.
yeah, that's fair.
And that's why she was like going crazy and frantic, because she's like, you were in there for like wait, you lied to me, you were in there way too long and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to talk about like the fight between Shui and
Gibril?
Gibril.
Yeah, that scene was what.
I like
That
the choreograph
scene
of the fight.
was awesome. The reason why it happened, could not understand.
Gibril was just like, yo, I'm intrigued by this. I'm gonna go see what it is. But it was initially like, oh, you're here. I'm gonna end you. And then she started seeing things with Shui, and she's like, oh, you're oddity. I want this.
As she's drooling from
So
her mouth and
yeah, because that's Gibril. She's great.
So the story does go through the Great War, like we're talking about. We start with a flashback, and then we go to Teet, and Teet tells the story through her eyes. And that's how the story goes. We just progress through how this war ends, how humanity is saved. Because in this world, humans are like pebbles. When you have these like demigods, almost have powers to destroy the world. Making E-bombs, like huge lasers, using magic. Zing, did you have any questions about this?
Not really. I mean, all of it was kind of straightforward. It was just, for me, it was just, like I said at the beginning, it was the terminology about like everything that they were talking about, like the ex machina. Is it machina or
Like Machina, something like that.
the mechs, whatever the mechs? Like I want to know, like, what are they? Like, are they a program within that world, or are they?
Yeah, they didn't really
Another,
explain.
or are they a race?
Yeah, they didn't really go into much detail about that. I would assume
No.
they were a race, but it never brought up that they were a race. They were just clusters. That's all they were.
They were just tools.
I guess in like a way, like when it was like it presented, you could almost think of it as like the flood from Halo.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the one.
Okay.
There's the being in the center of everything. The like in Halo, you have the grave mind, and this you had the one dude that Sui was like crying out to for help. And then the clusters is when they go and invade areas. Like in Halo, you have the like groups of the flood when they invade different planets and stuff like that. But like you would, and in this situation, you have the clusters that they call them. So I think you could almost like think maybe it's like something like that, for example.
Okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense, but like it doesn't really explain as far as like how they're even there or why.
It might be something that's like explained in the manga that we just
Well,
like it could also be something like that, or it's explained in other variations of media as well. But just based off the movie, it wasn't explained. So if you're watching this with zero knowledge of anything else, then it's understandable how it could be confusing for that part.
I would think they could drop like one line or something in this because this came out in 2017, so I'm sure it was elaborated more on in the manga. Considering it started in 2012, the author could have had some insights about what they were. Because a lot of them do plan stuff out years in the future. You're gonna have their stories done before it even starts. So I do want to meme with Momi for a minute.
Oh God.
So we're gonna get a season 2 of this show.
Most likely not. Well, so like it's weird. So
Because this
initially
movie did really well in box office.
So
like, it's broke records in America.
Yeah, so season 1 did phenomenal. The manga did really well from what I know. But looking into the release of No Game No Life, people came out stating that there was parts of the story were plagiarized. The creator himself literally came out, and instead of like fighting it or like saying something else, all he did was just say I'm sorry, and even paid them off basically. So like there was that, but that happened during the initial release of the anime No Game No Life. And so looking at that, this movie, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, this movie then released 3 years later, but it could have also been funded before all the, like funded and started production before all the accusations occurred. So that might be why we still receive the movie. But a lot of people were thinking, oh, because of these accusations, they may just feel better about dropping No Game No Life and dealing with other issues. But there's also issues with the main creator's health too. So there's that as well. So there's a whole bunch of factors, but we don't really know. We haven't been confirmed or denied it. So
Momi, I'm not Momi, sorry. So Zink and Dakota. I think even by the very end, the show's much better than this movie. So I'm gonna talk about the show more than the movie. Did you guys like the colors at the very end when we go back to real time? Because a lot of people get thrown off by the color schemes of this world.
Are you talking about like the brightness of Tet's world compared to like the Great War era?
Yeah, because it's more like purpley and pink. It's more.
I could definitely tell like there was a difference with the color scheme change. I felt like if they left the movie kind of in the beginning colors, it might have been a little bit easier to watch.
So you
see the whole
color palettes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole thing with that though is it's talking about an earlier time before everything was, in the situation is now. So I mean, it's almost like if you current day go back and watch a movie because you kind of fucking said it earlier, like a World War II film, it's gonna be in black and white. This is almost their variation of that. I guess you can almost say. Yeah, but seeing like the darker themes and stuff like that, it's supposed to take a darker. It's taking a darker like viewing of like. Well, I mean, not really darker viewing, but like this setting is supposed to be is a much darker time, which that's why it's called the Great War. There's no great wars anymore, or wars in general, or violence, or anything. So this is an era where that was still a thing. So seeing the like. I mean, when you go, it's like, for example, when you go out to the open city here, for example, like you go to, I don't know, you fly to some big city here or go to like Japan or something. You go downtown, it's full of like colors and stuff like that because you see like the displays and stuff like that, like on the like walls of buildings and stuff like that. But when you go to a war zone, it's desolate.
Right. That makes sense.
I think the way they use the color palettes for both, I think, is very, very well done. That is one thing I will say with the No Game No Life anime as well, is the actual colors and just the art style is absolutely phenomenal.
See, I love the colors of No Game No Life. A lot of people hate on it.
I absolutely love it.
The colors are weird at first, but like you just grow to it. Like you just grow attached.
You almost hate it in a way. I don't know if you get this, but like you almost hate it in a way because it's so like becomes so appeasing to the eye. So you like love looking at it, then you go look at it like another anime, and you're just like, this is dull.
It would have been interesting seeing the Great War in that colorful animation scheme, you know? Like have this depressing story being told through very colorful and
I
artsy
feel like
colors.
it wouldn't have. I feel like it just wouldn't have hit the like. I feel like sure it would have helped with some people, but like I
I'm just talking
honestly
about from like
felt
a
that it
symbol.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm talking about from like a symbolic and themes way. Like
Yeah, it doesn't help
people don't
like
normally
to interpret
put.
the theme.
Yeah,
It doesn't give you a good like grasp on the setting if you're doing bright, colorful, like cheerful colors and stuff.
Since we're talking about color palettes, the art though within the movie, I really did enjoy. I thought a lot of the Great War depictions were really well drawn, and you don't really some of these kind of the anime movies. The whole sometimes you get really bad artwork in them, but I felt like for this one, it was really good.
I've always loved the No Game No Life style because just like the way the approach to the characters is just so like almost mesmerizing to look at. I mean, you look at like, I mean, you guys wouldn't be able to tell, but like you look at Shiro, like her design is so unique, it's like appeasing to the eye. Then you have in this show you have Shui, for example, in any of her forms, even when she's beaten up and tattered, and you see all of her like inner mechanisms and stuff like that pouring out and stuff. It's so well designed. It's still almost pretty. I mean, if you look at the actual cover art of the movie itself, it's her damaged and torn apart, and it still looks absolutely mesmerizing.
No, the art style and like the colors are definitely on point for it. Like that's for certain. I really enjoyed that aspect. Even the art when they were at the was it the Flugel or something like that, like where they initially met. Like the colors there.
Oh yeah, when they come out of the temple and they come back up after that the ash storm. Oh my god, it's because it's all pretty and snow white and stuff. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah, it was
yes,
really good looking.
getting
Like
to the end when the world gets reincarnated and the elves are back
Mhm.
with that beautiful flower garden again. All that
yes.
yellow.
I will say, yellow within this movie makes a total difference. Just the way that it makes everything pop within like that grungy background, 100% worth it.
Well,
oh yeah, I don't even like yellow, and like the yellow was very appeasing. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if yellow, like what yellow means, like symbolism wise, real fast.
all I know
I
is the
think
combination of red and yellow is what makes you hungry, which was found out way after McDonald's decided on its logo. Interesting fact of the day.
Here, the time machine.
Yeah.
Oh, yellow stands for like joy and delight, so that makes sense when it's used. It's used after they play chess and like start to open up to each other. And you see yellow, and then again when the world gets reincarnated, when the world gets isekai'd, you could say. I did think their big brain plan though was kind of cool. That's what I like about No Game No Life is the strategies they use, especially for the
Yes.
series too. They're it's like original Naruto. There's actually strategy that goes into them. It's not just I punch you. So them like trying to destroy the world because they understand that all these people are equal. They're not none of them are the true God. We can take them all out to have the one true God left. So let's just destroy the world. So no, just do a board wipe.
Board wipe, gain 3 life for each creature.
It's not chess. It's a big magic game.
It's also really interesting to see when like they're like playing chess, for example, like in the actual anime, like Sora talks about like the like strategy and like the like calculations he does in his mind and stuff. It's always really interesting.
See, I wasn't a fan of that chess battle though in the anime. When he's trying to like, all you virgins, rise up. It's so cringe. God, it's so cringe.
It's so good.
So good.
So
Sorry.
would you
Anyway,
guys watch the show after watching the movie, or
um, as long as I mean, you said that's not. It's apparently a comedy. Like,
It's absolutely
oh,
hysterical.
the one thing though is it's more etchy.
Yeah.
It's a lot more etchy, which I'm not a fan of, especially when it's brother and stepsister. Or is it stepsister or is it sister?
It's his stepsister.
Yeah.
what are you doing there, step
His
bro?
mother, and her mother married, and then left him. That's why they're alone, and Sora swears to protect her. That's why they grow so aggressively close.
I will say that they're like first screen time in the show is so good. They're literally playing the
Yes.
two of them are playing like a team of 8 people with each controller in each hand and foot, like
Mm-hmm.
on a 50-game win streak.
It's so good.
So the originals, so the series is not all about chess, right?
No.
The
It's just
chess is like
it's
the
just
main theme, but it's not.
yes.
Like, chess is a theme. It's not part of the story. The
Okay.
first big fight is a chess like battle, but there's a chess battle. There's like a word game. I mean, and then
There's
there's
the
the gun gal game.
yeah.
Where they have to go up against all these different races who have specialties in these games. So
Yep.
instead of making weapons, they now focus on a special game that they master in, so they can keep their peace from other people taking it. Because rule number is a 6 or 5 that says like you have to like give up something if you lose. So people will give up their chess pieces for tactical advantages and stuff because you get their kingdom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, the show is a lot different than this. I'll tell you that right now. The show is almost a 180.
So with you guys telling me that the show is probably is different than what the movie is, I'll probably sit down and watch it at some point.
I mean, I'd watch it
It's only
just
12
at least for the
episodes.
feel.
Yeah.
We might review the series then eventually.
Oh Lord, hold up, wait a minute,
Show is great.
something ain't right here.
Does anyone have any final thoughts they want to talk about or bring up?
I mean, in all honesty, I understand the theme and all that. I don't know. Can we do something that's a little more lighthearted?
You
Because man,
Boku no Pico?
Yes.
we're back on the
Thank
Boku
you.
no Pico subject.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's more lighthearted than this. I will say that much. More wholesome in a way, you could say.
Pupa? You would watch Pupa, Dakota? Me, because I watched that.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Episode-
Oh my God.
Hey, you know,
Episodes
we'll
like
cross that.
long.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Though I'm sure we'll watch everything.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we'll watch Boku no Pico probably. I don't know when. I might start
Let's
that
watch
one out
One Piece.
actually.
Did you say tentacles? I think I heard you say tentacles.
I'm
Sorry, I
intrigued.
meant-
I'm intrigued.
About tentacles or One Piece?
Tentacles. 100%.
Definitely.
I
Oh,
will watch
I mean,
every
there's
piece
tentacles
of
in One
media
Piece.
related to tentacles before I watch an episode of One Piece.
There's tentacles in One Piece though.
Yeah, we'll watch only those episodes.
There's a lot of them. Not really.
It's fine.
There's like 6. I don't know. There's not that many.
I would feel like there would be more tentacle based One Piece episodes since it takes place on an ocean.
I mean, there's like
Man.
big sea monsters, but they focus more on the fish design than octopus design. There's a kraken, but that's about it.
Release the
Okay.
Kraken.
Homework. Kraken arc. One Piece.
It's like 2 episodes. Okay.
No, other than that, I don't really have anything else.
So what would you guys rate this out of 10?
With it being my first time watching anything from No Game No Life, and not having watched the anime to realize like, oh, okay, so this is supposed to be part of this universe, I'll give it an 8 out of a 10 for me.
Like, for just, like, if I were watching this without any variation of knowledge of the series, like I was going blind, I'd say either a strong 7 or an 8. But with me knowing it, and, like, knowing the themes and stuff, going in, I would probably say, like, a 9, maybe 9.5 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Man, I guess I'm gonna be the tough critic. I'd give it a 6, just because, like, I don't know, like I
You
didn't
also don't
really
like depressing themes. I absolutely love them.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
actually
that's
love
curious
dark,
to
fair.
like
know though.
depressing
What
stuff.
would you rate A
Like,
Silent Voice?
dude, that one was a little different
You got to
because,
be
like,
careful. You're talking to someone who literally adores that movie. You better be
no,
careful.
I'd give it like a 7 or 8. Like, I feel like A Silent Voice.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful. That's really good. Okay,
I was gonna do the voice. I was gonna do the voice, Noah.
Disrespectful.
I can't do
but
it.
no, like, I mean, yeah, that, like, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of like breaking, like very few jokes to break up like the seriousness and the depressingness versus like.
I'm gonna stop you right here because it is a beautiful movie about
We're
friendship
talking
and
about No
redemption.
Game No Life, I think.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Silent.
Oh,
I was gonna
no,
say, if you're looking for jokes in a silent voice, you're in the wrong realm of
no,
the internet,
no,
bud.
no. A Silent Voice was really good. Like, there's a good mixture of like breaking it up. Like, it was very serious in moments, but then like you were hearing jokes pretty consistently too. I don't know. I like to laugh. I like to enjoy myself when I'm watching something, not like be depressed. I mean, that's me on a normal day. I'm trying to watch it to like leave that.
I would give this, if I knew nothing about the series, probably a 7, 8. But knowing the series, probably an 8 or a 9. You don't need to watch this movie to enjoy the show. And I
Correct.
don't think you need to watch the show to enjoy the movie. Granted, a couple of the
Mhm.
characters, because I think only 2 characters make an appearance through the both of them, and that's the angel and the god.
That's Jibril and Tet.
Yeah, only those only 2 that make an appearance. Yeah, makes an appearance in both of them. And granted, episode 6 does talk about the Great War, so kind of, yeah. Well, if that's it for today, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye.
Adios.
See you.